If you have your Bibles, turn with me and stand to your feet and turn with me to the book of Daniel. The 3rd chapter. Y'all know Daniel, the 3rd chapter. My God. Sister Dewana, the name of this one the Lord gave me was Living at 211. Living at 211. And if you had to put a parentheses, turn up the heat. Living at 211. Turn up the heat. That's the name of it. Praise the Lord. The book of Daniel, the 3rd chapter. And I'm just going to start reading the first verse. I'm going to go down. It says, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and captains, and judges, and treasurers, all of them, the counselors, sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time when ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. The word of the Lord is blessed.
Amen.
Y'all may take your seats. Amen. Now, if I start calling y'all names, it's because I see y'all nod. He said these chairs are right comfortable. So if you lean back, you might, so sit upright, 90 degrees. Praise the Lord.
Praise God.
Question that the Lord has, one of the questions he asked for us this morning. Have you ever felt all alone? I mean, have you ever felt left out? Right. That you were pushed into a place where you were just excluded and left out. God wants to talk a little bit this morning about your behavior when you're left out. Now, you say you feel forgotten. A lot of people, they hear that from a lot of young people, that they are not heard, that they feel unheard and forgotten about. But he said in Hebrews, Paul wrote in Hebrews 13 and 15, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. God says, I will never leave you or forget about you. Now, in this book of Daniel that we find ourselves in, it's also called the Apocalypse of the New Testament. Right? It speaks of the coming of the New Testament. And God wants you to remember, even when your life is in exile, you are not forgotten. Even when you're out, you're not forgotten. Because that's where Daniel was, right? Daniel, this book occurs in the middle of the captivity of the people of God by the Babylonians. And y'all know the Babylonian king, his name was Nebuchadnezzar, right? He was bad. Nebuchadnezzar had beaten the Persians, right? He had whipped the Assyrians. He was the only one who actually went east and beat the Egyptians too. So he had a lot of success and a lot of victory, and because of that, he had a false sense of himself. Nebuchadnezzar's greatest sin was a false sense of himself. A whole lot of us, amen, we might not build graven images, but we're walking around with a false sense of ourselves. Nebuchadnezzar thought that success had come his way in all of his endeavors, that somehow he was worthy of being worshipped. That it was him. Nebuchadnezzar would say, I saw myself do it, and I know I'm working it out. Rather than saying, I've seen him do it, so he tries to take all the credit, and places himself almost as a demigod. God is saying, beware when you allow your past to cloud your opinion of your future. That's in the positive and in the negative. Beware when you let the good things that have happened in the past this make you assume things about the future. Beware when you allow the bad things of the past to block the things of your future. Amen. And God said telling us that this morning. People, we talked on Thursday night about hypocrites. You remember that? At Bible study, hypocrites lead themselves to destruction. You don't have to destroy a hypocrite. He's going to destroy his own self. Why? Because Proverbs 11:3 reads, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of a transgressor shall destroy them. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. I told you, Nebuchadnezzar's greatest flaw wasn't hubris of a graven image. It was thinking that he deserved a graven image. See, he had no integrity. I read it described this way and it stuck with me. Honesty, write this down. Honesty is the state of telling others the truth. Honesty is the state of telling others the truth. Integrity is the state of telling yourself the truth. A whole lot of people got honesty and they ain't got no integrity. Meaning that I know it's right. I'll tell you what you look like, but I won't tell myself what I look like. How many of us have people in our lives who tell us to get it together, but they won't get it together? They tell you to lose weight and they eat up. Come on, and they got the most advice, okay? I can't eat nothing, and they eat chips. Integrity! I ain't gonna look over there at her. Integrity! I didn't say no name, don't say. Honesty. But God is not, we're laughing, but God said, be real, think about this. Integrity. Nebuchadnezzar had no integrity. It's a lonely place to be under the control of somebody with no integrity. You want to really feel lonely, have to answer to somebody who has no integrity. It's a lonely feeling to have a supervisor or a boss that don't have no integrity. It's a hard place to be. Hard to play for a coach that don't have no integrity. Hard to work with them, huh? It's hard to live in a country where the president don't have. My God. To live in a nation where the leadership don't have no integrity. My God. And that's where Daniel was. That's where we are right now. Where our yes is not necessarily yes. And our no is not necessarily no. But listen here. God will always meet you in the place of your faith.
Yes, He will.
He will. No matter how hot it gets, no matter how lonely it gets, God will meet you at the place of your faith. Now, the situation of being under the power, under the control of somebody with no integrity. That's where Daniel, now Daniel was a Jewish boy. When Nebuchadnezzar took over Jerusalem, he took all of the Jewish boys and brought them to his house's area and ordered that they be, studied and learned in the Babylonian tradition. He understood if I want to control the future, I must control the young man.
Yes. Yes.
If I want to control the future family, I got to control the future dad.
That's right.
And so it's interesting, he takes the boys, the young teenage boys, and he takes them, and the first thing he does when he gets in behind closed doors is he changes their names. And I got it written down. The name Daniel means God is my judge. See, that's what his mama named him. But when he gets to behind the Babylonian doors, they try to change his name to Belshazzar, which meant servant of or protector of Shazar. Shazar was Nebuchadnezzar's son. He was designed to Nebuchadnezzar's son. But even then, Daniel, when he wrote his name, would write Belteshazzar, which meant I am not his. Was his hard-headed. And so he begins to tell the story. Daniel begins to write the story of what was happening to him. And we know he ends up in a lion's den. But he tells the story of his friends. That's where we are in chapter 3. His friends, Hananiah, whose name means God's gracious. But when he got behind the door, they changed it to Shadrach.
Shadrach, that's right.
Right? Now Shadrach, that name means servant of Aku, was their moon god. Servant of the moon god. That's because they worked at night. Y'all didn't know that. They were astronomers, Shadrach and Meshach. Right? And so they would study the moon at night. And so he was called the servant of the moon god Aku. That's what Shadrach. But his mama named him Hananiah, which means God is gracious. Mishael was the other boy. And it said, who is equal to our God? That's what his name meant. When he got on the other side, they tried to call him Meshach. Meaning who is like and the same unto that God Aku. Tried to change who he was by changing what you called him. Behind the scenes now. Understand they're trying to get our boys behind the scenes and change their name.
Yes.
Trying to get our boys behind the scenes and change their opinions of themselves.
Yes.
Why? So they can control the future.
Yes.
This didn't start now. The right wing didn't start this. The judicial system didn't start this. This is way back in the story. Amen.
Amen.
And so then the last one, the boy's name is Azariah, meaning that God helped. So here we got three boys. God is gracious, who is equal to our God, and God is helpmate. And he gets over there, and they name him Abednego, meaning servant of Nego, who was another God. So you try to make me serve gods that ain't mine. Why? Because you have no integrity.
Yes.
You know who I am, but you have no integrity. So you're trying. All right.
Go ahead.
Now, so go back to the text. Go back to the text. Daniel 3. Daniel 3. I'm going somewhere, I promise.
Go.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get here, and I told you, we stopped there. Nebuchadnezzar had told the boy to tell him what was going to happen. Then we jump down to verse 14. Verse 14. By this time, y'all know the story. Many know the story. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, they would not obey because even though their leader had no integrity, they had integrity.
Amen.
They didn't change who they were because leadership was acting up.
That's right.
They didn't act ugly because people was acting ugly to them.
Yes.
We're about to go back to work, praise God. So that's a word for the Prince George's County Public School System. Just because the people around you are acting ugly does not mean that you have to act ugly.
Yes.
Just because everybody in your family is acting a certain way doesn't mean that you have to conduct yourself in that way. And they found out that these three boys were acting with integrity. Somebody actually snitched on them. The Chaldean said, he not worshiping me. And so, verse 14, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, doth not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now you got to remember, they had good jobs. Nebuchadnezzar had favored them. They were being groomed. They were in the management training program. They had the good internship. These are the ones who will get the good government jobs. They were already set up. And so, understand now, the devil doesn't care if you have any money, so he set you up to have some money and thought that you owe him now. Because I've done this thing for you, there was a string attached to it. And the string is, when I call for you, you're going to come. Because I gave you this job now, that when Sunday comes, if I say you got to come on in, you're going to come on in. But Sunday belongs to the Lord. My God, my God. String attached to it. And so Nebuchadnezzar, he just wanted to check and say, you know how I hooked you up? Remember how I set you up? How you gonna carry it when I set you up? Right? And so Nebuchadnezzar was mad in his flesh. After all I've done for you, you gonna turn around and bite me like that? So Nebuchadnezzar says, is it true? So then 15, verse 15. He offers them what theologians call the poison compromise. A poison compromise. It's when, if I accept this thing, I do something that goes against my principles in order to avoid an outcome that I don't want. I'm not trying to get it, I'm trying to avoid something. You see it all the time. I was watching the movie with, what's the boy, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. I like karate right. And they had the girl hanging from the thing and the boy fighting. So he couldn't figure out which one he wanted to do, but you know, Jack can't do all that. So he got out. But the boy, he was at, Nebuchadnezzar offers them a poison compromise. In verse 15 he says, now if ye be ready, that at one time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, if ye fall down and worship me, worship the image which I have made, well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast in the same hour into the midst of a fiery, burning furnace. And who is it? Who is that God that will deliver you out of my hands? It's all I understand now. When you don't have any integrity, you will eventually challenge God.
My God.
Your boss will eventually say something that challenges your sensibility. You'll challenge God. Who you think you are? You ain't gonna be nothing. Challenging God. Because God only created you to be fearfully enough. Right? I brought you here and I'll take right. All those kinds of threatening tones. And so he said, if you don't bow down, I'm going to throw you right that minute into the fiery furnace. So then verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, it says they thought about it for a while. So they went home and went to sleep. Is that what yours says? No, mine don't say that. Mine says, in verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered.
Yeah.
They didn't have to compromise. They didn't have to consider because they had integrity.
Yeah.
I know who I am, and I know whose I am. And so he says, they said to the king, oh, Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee on this matter. Meaning we don't have to think very long about this one. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. First, let's establish, there's nothing you can do that my God can't take care of.
Yeah.
So you talk about a furnace, my God can do furnaces.
Yeah.
You talk about tuition, my God can do tuition. You talk about sickness, my God can do sickness. So let's get it clear. I'm not checking for you or your furnace.
Right. Hey. Yeah.
Right? I ain't scared of you.
That's it.
That's good, right? These teenage boys, right?
That's right.
They look, I ain't scared of you.
Yeah.
Let's be sure that before you say anything else, you can say, look, we can fight right now. Come on. We don't got to talk. We can. But we can take that walk if you need to. That's how my mind, that's the Pepno version. That's the Pepno version. The scripture. So they said, we not careful. In verse 17, if it be so, if that's what you're going to do, if you're going to throw us in the furnace, then our God is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand also.
Yes.
Okay. And then in verse 18 he says, but if not, well, I want you to understand, if God should decide that we die in that furnace, if that's what he decides, children said, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not. We will not. Integrity. Because guess what? I told myself I'm not going to bow down.
That's it.
Before he ever came, when everybody was looking and bowing down, I told myself I'm not going to bow down.
Yeah.
And then when they told on me and talked about me at the lunch table, I said I'm not going to bow down. In other words, I'm going to keep my virginity. Y'all laughed at me, but I'm going to keep my virginity. Y'all been talking about me and texting about me and group chat and all that stuff. But guess what? I heard what you said, but I'm going to keep my virginity. I don't care what you say, because my integrity on the inside says, I know who I am, and I'm going to keep my He said, so Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego said, we want you to know, verse 18, if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. I always like this story. I'm glad I do. Because verse 19 takes us to our lesson for today. Verse 19, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury.
Yes.
He was madder than mad. He was, you ever see somebody, he says, and the form of his visage was changed. He was so mad he didn't even look the same.
Yeah.
You ever see somebody get so mad? What's wrong with you? They just get so, like that road rage. You be like, I just made a left, buddy. Take it easy. You know. Bible says that his visage, he was so mad that his very face changed.
Yeah.
Right? and he said, he commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. 7 times more. Now, I got to stop right there 1 second. I got to stop right there. Because in one of the translations I read, in the apocryphal translation, it said that in Babylon, each house was required to have a little wooden statue of their gods, and that what happened was all the men gathered up all these statues and threw them in the furnace to make them hotter. Right. So they had to get rid of their gods to make it hotter. Right. But I asked myself, if you could be dead in the old way, why do I need to add a new way? Why do I need to make it hotter? I can burn it up right now. Right? And so I prayed. Thursday night I prayed. I said, God, why is that? Why they had the flames shoot 100 feet in the air when they'd have been dead at 2 feet? And he said, in the text it says 7 times hotter, Brian. You know that 7 is the number of completeness. Yes. Right? So obviously, I need you to check this fire. And I said, Lord, okay, I'll check the fire. And he said, tell the children today, no more 211s. No more 211s. And so, because you know, I sometimes think I'm deep in praise the Lord. Y'all didn't laugh, because I am deep inside. God directed me to 211, and he said, like on the radio, on the police radio, a 211 means a robbery is in progress, right? And so I said, okay, God, I got it. Because you're going to come back and return to us everything that the devil stole from us. So it's no more 211. I was about to shout. I was ready. God said, I am going to return that, but that's not what I'm talking about. So then I got real deep. Then I said, well, on the 211th page of the Standard King James Bible, in the book of Deuteronomy, he begins to talk about tithing and offering. So I said, okay, God, I'm going to reveal the people. I know Brother Rick is back there with his vocabulary. So I said, I'm going to bring in on the people, and I will tell that God, I will remind them of the blessing cycle that is in tithings and offerings, and that now the no more. He said, I am going to bless them, but stop trying to be so deep. That's how he talked to me. All right, this is how I go. And then he told me that at 200, he said, look on the thermometers and think about 211. At 211 degrees Fahrenheit, water is very, very hot. Right? If you touch it, it can cause second-degree burns. No living thing can drink water that's 211 degrees. So at 211 degrees, the water is painful and useless. You can't grow no plants in 211 degree water. Right? 211 degrees is painful and useless. And God is saying, some of us today are living in 211 degrees. We're painful, my God, and useless. See, you got to understand, we've been in relationships that are 211. They're painful and they've been useless. Some of us are in situations, we work in jobs that's painful and useless. 211. God said the number one thing, you're holding on to memories that are 211. He said a whole lot of my children are crying over things I've already delivered them from. You're holding on to your 211 because it's painful and it's useless. My God. He said no more 211s. My God. Now, I began to think about that thing, and then God said, now look at here though. But at 212 degrees, water begins to boil. Now, see, it's still hot. It'll still hurt you. But see, at 212 degrees, the water begins to evaporate into something called steam. And steam has been used to build locomotives. Steam has been used to move steamboats. The industrial and transportation revolutions were created because of steam. See, steam is painful, but it's useful. See, God is saying one more degree and that pain becomes useful. So he said, no more 211. We got to move one more degree. Up to 212. We got to learn to turn our 211 into a 212. It still hurts. Hey. When you touch it, it still burns your hand. But now it is good that I have been afflicted. Oh my God. It's good that I was afflicted because I went from 211 and now I went to 212. And I've learned how to use the pain that I had. That memory that made me cry, it was 211 and now it's 212. I think I figured it out. Hey! God, what you was trying to tell me. So he said, no more to 11. Hallelujah, we got to move one more degree. We got to get hotter. And so I asked God, why did you turn up the furnace? He said, I had to make it hotter. See, I understand. Right there where it was painful, but it was useless. So at 211, hallelujah, I got this painful and had to get useful. Hallelujah. So what did happen? Y'all go back to the text. Y'all go back to the text. Hallelujah. Now this time, jump down to 22. Jump down to the same story now. Same story here. So he told them to throw the boys in there, right? Told them to throw them in. Said, therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flames of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What do you mean, king? Well, the guys who was carrying them, who had tied them up and bound them, the flame was so hot that it killed them. So now there's no more binding them. God is saying that what Nebuchadnezzar thought was a furnace, he turned into a crucible. Because it was part of getting rid of the things that bound you. I had to make it hotter so the things that was holding you down would get off of you. I had to make your life harder so that dude who meant you no good would leave. I had to make it harder on your job because I had another job for you and you wasn't going to quit, so I had to make the place go out of business so that you would. So I had to turn it up. Because you wasn't going to move, and so what you thought was a furnace, I'm actually I'm cleaning up some things. Because you got to understand, another thing that happens at 212 degrees, boiling water is used to clean things.
That's right.
You can clean things in boiling water even if the naked eye can't catch. You got to take spoon, when the baby drop it on the floor, you got to put it under some boiling water. Like mom would say, scalding water. Put it under some scalding water, right? Because now that hot, you can't touch it. It'll still hurt you, but now it has a whole lot of uses. Hallelujah. When I need to get something right, I can put it in the boiling water. Boiling water also changes things. Hey, my God. I'm preaching my own thing. Boiling water changes things. See, when you take a coffee bean and you put it in boiling water, now it becomes coffee.
Yes, that's right.
There's a whole lot of medicines that we got to take. We have to put some boiling water to it. Understand? So God is saying, if we heat things up one more degree, then I can use a whole lot of more use out of it. Oh, that painful thing becomes a whole lot more useful with one more degree. So we got to heat up a little bit. Hallelujah. So, my God. Some of those things that were tests will now be testimonies after one more degree. So hold on for one more degree. Touch your neighbor and say, hold on for one more degree.
Hold on for one more degree.
Verse 22. So the boys get burned away that was carrying them. Verse 3 says, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished. I thought he was angry. I thought that his visage was changed. I thought that he was so consumed by anger. Understand, when God steps into a situation, everyone will see it. You can't sneak God anywhere. When God shows up, and I mean for shows up, everyone will know it.
Oh, yes.
That's why when he comes back, every knee is going to bow.
Yes.
Every tongue is going to confess. The atheist tongue, the agnostic tongue, all everybody everybody's talking smart out their mouth, everything is going to matter. Because when God shows up, you can't help but be astonished. So verse 24 says, then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished. And he rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, hey, did we not cast 3 guys into the middle of the fire? And they said, yeah, that's what you said. We followed your directions, sir. You said 3 guys, we threw in 3 guys. Hey, but he's already astonished. My God. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men. Now, a whole lot of time we shout about the number change. But notice he said, I see 4 men loose. But God did 2 miracles. I have been 4 when there was 3, and God turned them loose. A whole lot of us got people joining us in our being bound. Pity parties come with us. I'm sad, and got people coming being sad with me. No. But this time, I got 4 men, and now we're all loose.
That's right.
So he said, did we not cast in 3 men?
Yeah.
They said, yeah. He said, lo, I see 4 men walking in the midst of the fire. And they have no hurt. Wait a minute. Fire is my thing. The Babylonian punishment is fire. Everybody's scared of fire. The symbol of Babylon was fire. Everybody knows how I carry it. And you, not only are they in my punishment, they're in the middle of my punishment. The part of the fire is supposed to be the hottest. And they're walking around unhurt. I told you I wasn't checking for you. Go get your brother. Go get your cousin too. I'll find all of them. Right? That's where they were. Hallelujah. And so then, he says, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Because you understand, when you turn up the heat, Jesus comes with you. The biggest difference between 2:11 and 2:12 is that when you get to 2:12, I'm going to come. And I'm going to get in the middle of your situation. And when I'm in the middle of your situation, nothing can hurt you. When I'm in the middle of your situation, nothing can bind you. When I'm in the middle of your situation, your enemies, they will be astonished. But you got to go up 1 more degree.
One more degree.
There's a difference. The difference between 11 and 12 is Jesus. I'm going to get in. Are you willing to get a little heat? Willing for it to get a little bit hotter to move from 2:11 to 2:12? In your life, are you willing to go a little bit, at least get a little bit hotter in your walk with the Lord? Are you willing to dedicate your prayer time, to increase your prayer time in frequency, and in intensity, and in directness? Are you willing to do that 1 more degree for Jesus to come in? Are you willing in your ministry, whatever God's called you to do, are you willing to sacrifice more of your gifts and talents 1 more degree so that Jesus can come in? Hallelujah. In your marriage, are you willing to spend more time to be 1 degree more selfless so that Jesus can come in? My God. He said, because if you do that, I just need 1 degree. I don't need to change everything. I just need 1 more degree. I hear what you're doing, and I know you're trying your best. And I know 2:11 hurts pretty bad, but this hurt is useless. He said, if you give me 1 more degree, God's calling on the Greater Bethesda Church. He said, I need 1 more degree. He said, I've heard you guys. You guys are doing great. He's very pleased with the Greater Bethesda Church, but he needs 1 more degree. Hallelujah. From everybody under the sound of my voice, he needs 1 more degree from us. Can you give the Lord 1 more degree to go from 2:11 to 2:12? To go from pain without use to useful pain. Didn't say it was going to be easy. Didn't say it was not going to hurt sometimes. But he said, if you will move 1 more degree, then I will come in the middle of it. And when I come, there will be the fullness of joy. When I come, all of these seats will be filled up, and the back will be filled up, and they'll have to get out of here from here too. When I come in this place, yokes will be broken. Blinded eyes will be open. Cancer cells will be dried up. When I come in this place, broken hearts will be renewed. When I come in this place, I just need 1 more degree. Who's got my back? I got you. My God, can I get 1 more? My God, I say, I got you. I got one more degree. I say, I'm going to ask the people, will they give you one more degree, God? One more degree. Will they commit one more time to pray that prayer that you stopped praying because you thought God wasn't listening no more? Some of us said you prayed and prayed and prayed, and now you still saved, but you don't pray that prayer no more because you think God has forgotten. He said, one more time. Hey, pray that prayer again. Whatever it was he called you to do that you stopped doing because you couldn't see the result of it. God said, one more time. Can I trust you for one more degree? Stand to your feet. Hallelujah.